A mail carrier makes a disturbing discovery. A dead mother tied to a mailbox with a shoestring.
With her face right here like this.
Did what happened next help a killer get away with murder?
They know that they had contaminated this investigation.
Evidence alleged to have been mishandled.
What is the family doing with the shoes?
Or is now missing.
So basically the evidence is now disintegrated.
Gone.
Common sense goes a long way in law enforcement.
The horrific death of Jessica Johnson left her family and friends filled with unimaginable grief. And what's happened since has only made it worse.
I'm hurt because there's people on that force we went to school with that know her. And I don't know why they're not doing anything.
I've never been so disappointed in the police.
They say this case is open, but they will not investigate anyone.
Why do you think a homicide investigation initially wasn't even acknowledged or initiated in any way?
Well, I think it's her lifestyle and who she was hanging with.
Although her family admits the young mother had battled drug addictions for years, they say she had been trying to fight those demons. Dr. Godwin believes her drug use likely changed the direction of the investigation. Though she did not overdose, the coroner says she did have meth and Xanax in her system when she died.
And if this had been a college female or a housewife, with no background or anything, found in a mailbox, you would never hear the end of it.
Our request to the Horn Lake Police Department for an on-camera interview was declined, but in a statement to Crime Watch Daily, Captain Nikki Lanfer says tips and information that we have received have been investigated. As far as we are concerned, this is still a death investigation. But if the investigation into Jessica's death is still open, forensic scientist Dr. Maurice Godwin doesn't understand why potential evidence has already been returned to her family.
This should be in law enforcement's hands.
Dr. Godwin found what he believes could be evidence pointing to a possible murder,
Her blood shouldn't be there.
including what appeared to be a blood spatter on her shoes.
In my opinion, that's what it looks like. It all needs to be processed.
And on her purse, something that until now, Jessica's family hadn't noticed.
This is completely broke.
The metal connecting the strap to her purse had been ripped off.
What kind of force does it take to break this off of here?
He believes it's a clear sign that Jessica was involved in some type of altercation.
There was somebody else with her that night, and there was a struggle.
It's what her family first suspected after seeing her body at the funeral home.
There were holes in her hand. Holes.
Not all of the potential evidence has been returned to the family. Some of it is gone.
My suggestion was to take this shoelace and swab it for touch DNA.
But the shoestrings that had been fashioned into a noose are missing.
That's evidence. How do you lose evidence?
Also gone, the clothes Jessica was wearing the night she died.
They returned her purse and not the clothes she was wearing in the photo.
We were calling the funeral home and the medical examiner. Nobody could find her clothes.
Her clothes were burned, destroyed.
According to the family, the funeral director said Jessica's clothes were sent to him in a biohazard bag, but Dr. Godwin doesn't understand why.
As far as I saw, there was no blood on the clothing.
Something basic that you learn in the academy, how to correctly preserve a crime scene.
Former Memphis police officer Ro Marino believes critical evidence was destroyed from the start of the investigation.
They rode on top of here like it was nothing.
He says photos show cop cars parked too close to the body. He also claims potential witnesses were ignored.
Now, this neighbor right here was never questioned by the police.
But Marino believes the most erroneous oversight by detectives involves security video from the actual home where Jessica's body was found.
It requires a passcode to get into it, and they didn't ask them for a passcode.
Police did not ask the homeowner for the passcode to look at the security video that could have captured all of this.
That's correct.
And it turns out, in the days before her death, Jessica had been hanging out at that home with her boyfriend, who lived there on occasion. The home is owned by his best friend. We wanted to ask him about the supposed security video. He didn't want to talk on camera, but off camera. The man confirmed there was a camera facing the mailbox, but that police never got the passcode to access it.
I would expect him not to give over the code freely, you know, or to say, no, I haven't looked at it. But the police, I expect more from.
But oddly, the homeowner had many changing stories about the video. First, he told me he's never looked for the video. When I asked if I could, he said he didn't know the passcode. He then said the camera may not have been on, or that it may have been recorded over already. And there's another critical piece of evidence no one has been able to look into either. It's Jessica's cell phone.
Do you think that holds answers?
I know that holds answers.
But the phone is locked, and no one has the code.
They could have used Jessica's fingerprint too, but they didn't even think about doing anything like that.
On the day her body was found, Jessica's family says her teenage son received a text from his mom's phone at 3:29 a.m. Based on the reported condition of her body, Dr. Godwin estimates Jessica had been dead for at least 8 hours when the mail carrier found her. That would mean the text was sent right around the time she died, or perhaps even after.
Either somebody had her phone somewhere else and sent that message, or they were standing at the mailbox around 3:30 a.m., sent the message to try to throw off everything, and then they just put it in a purse and walked away.
Either way, Jessica's family says 8 hours before she was found dead, she certainly didn't sound like somebody ready to commit suicide. In the message, she said she would be spending the day with G, referring to her on-again, off-again boyfriend of more than 2 years, Garland Hart.
I seen the pictures of him, and she showed me the picture, and I'm like, how far down do these tattoos go?
Linda Johnson says she never could understand what her daughter saw in him. She claims the relationship was toxic.
I think that there was times in their relationship where they enjoyed each other and have a little bit of fun, but the bad outweighed the good in their relationship.
Jessica's friends agree. They all paint a very dark picture of the relationship.
And he was mentally abusive, he was physically abusive.
She said specifically she knew he was able to hurt her.
She was like a possession to him.
There were times where I'd have to go pick her up, you know, because they had gotten into an argument or an altercation, and she'd be so hysterical, and she'd be like, this guy is gonna kill me.
So why didn't she leave him?
I think she just wanted to save him, you know? I think some women just think they can save certain men.
Friends say they tried to convince her to call it off.
I really urged Jess to get away from him.
And I would always ask them, why are you there?
But anytime Jessica did get away, she'd go right back.
You know, with Jess, you could give her advice, but she was gonna do what she wanted to do.
And friends say 2 nights before her death, she wanted to go with Garland to his best friend's house.
She went over there to meet Garland because he told her to come.
Well, he lived there.
Up next,
Hi, I'm with Crime Watch Daily. Can I ask you a few questions about Jessica?
Jessica's boyfriend addresses accusations made against him.
I don't want my name clear because I don't care. I don't care. I willingly went down there myself because that was my best friend. So I don't expect an apology because it would anger me.
What he said next, we didn't expect to hear.
But